Christina Heideck with PTO Answers, and today I am here to talk to you a little bit more about fundraising. And what we're going to talk about today is I'm going to answer the question of it, or answer the question of whether or not it is possible to have too many fundraisers for your school or PTO, like in any given year. Is there like a magic number that you should try to keep within and not surpass? Or like a magic number that you need not drop below, like that you definitely should be having. So we're going to get into all of that today. And I just want to give you a quick reminder that if you have not yet liked the PTO Answers Facebook page or subscribe to the PTO Answers YouTube channel, go ahead and do that right now. It'll make sure that you get notifications for when I have new live streams or put up new videos, and you definitely want to stay in the loop, so go ahead and do that now. The second thing I want to remind you to do that is, if you are not yet a member of the PTO Superstar Leader Facebook group, you definitely want to be asking to join today. Why? Well, we have like over 8,000 of the smartest, the best, the most creative, and definitely most supportive, and it is the supportive members, and it is a drama-free zone that you are going to get so many stinking ideas. And the best part is it's entirely free. You just have to go sign up. So you can find the group by going to ptoanswers.com Facebook, and it'll take you automatically there. So again, if you're not yet a member, I invite you to join the group. It's really fabulous, and I can't wait to talk with you inside. All right, so on to the topic of today, and that is it possible to have too many fundraisers? Well, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, heck yeah, man. Like, it is definitely possible to burn not only yourself out, and by yourself I mean your PTO in general or your fundraising chairs. Like, you guys definitely can get burnt out about that, but you can also burn out your school community and also the larger community. And that puts you into very dangerous territory. So you definitely do not want to be having too many, and you don't want to risk burning everybody out, because then when you really need money, they're going to be like, yeah, we've been giving you all sorts of money along the way, and no, we're not going to give you anything. And that's going to really leave you in a tough situation. So how do you decide how many is too many? Well, it kind of depends on the type of fundraisers you are doing. If, for example, you are doing a different, like, kind of major type fundraiser, more than twice a year, you're probably on the leading edge of too many. Like that, I'll say, like, that's right, probably the very most that you should do. In the past, I know my groups have run into some problems where maybe the fall fundraiser totally fell flat. We didn't make what we needed to do. We didn't want to cut programming. So we were left with coming up with another major fundraising effort for the spring. I would say 2 a year is fine. You don't want to be having something new each and every month. Families are busy. Parents are super busy, especially now. There's so much information coming at us, so much that we have to be paying attention to. And your PTO and your monthly fundraiser is going to get lost in the shuffle. So you really want to be more strategic about what you are planning and how you are planning, what you are offering families in order for them to support you fundraising wise, right? So you don't want to just willy-nilly, like, see a great popcorn fundraising company and go sign up for them and send out the information in an email blast. Like, you can't be spur of the moment. You really have to be strategic. If you're not, it's going to come right back around and it's going to bite you in your booty. Okay? I'm telling you. You're going to be like, Christina, I didn't think it was right, or I didn't think you were right. And then it came back and yeah, it was no good. So I'm just telling you, it's your little helpful friend right now. Be strategic. All right. So the other kind of golden rule that you can live by is 2 free events, programs, something that you're doing for the students and the families to every one fundraiser. So that will help you keep a really good balance, because of course you can't just be continuously asking for money and not doing anything with the money that families can see. If that happens, they're going to stop giving. So don't do that. So keep the giving train going. Some groups call these givebacks. I think that's a little crass because you want to be doing family fun programming. Like, I think just family fun seems a lot better than give back. So I would just challenge you to change your thinking on that, and your presentation, it might go over a little bit better. All right, so this year you're like, Christina, we cannot have programs and family events this year. So how are we gonna stick with this ratio? Well, truth be told, it's gonna be a little harder this year. That's why I say you need to be really strategic. And I always encourage you as PTOs to be planning like the entire year out. So really, you need to be planning most, and I'm not talking about like down to every single detail. I'm saying you need to have a broad overview of what you want to happen for the year before the year even starts. Because once you get into the year, it's harder to make adjustments than if you have a big grand plan and then you work throughout the year to kind of fill in those details, but you know generally when things are going to happen. And of course, adjustments always can be made as things come up. But again, if you have that big overview, it'll really save your sanity as a leader, and you won't be making it up on the fly and trying to make those last minute adjustments that can be so uncomfortable and just time consuming and just like, God, stuff just takes over your life. So I don't want that to happen for you. I want everything to be nicely planned out, and so that you are not on the struggle bus with this. So I've talked to you before about like the whole, you have to know your reason for fundraising. You have to have a good reason for fundraising. So another golden rule I want you to live by is if you don't have a good reason for fundraising, don't. Like, there's nothing that says that just because you're a PTO that you have to fundraise. So if last year, great example, all of our schedules were disrupted in the spring, right? So I know I talked with a leader, Lisa, last night, and she was like, oh, we're carrying over so much more. We're required by our bylaws to carry over 3,000, but we're carrying over close to 6,000, right? So I was like, oh, you have a lot more money to play with. And she's like, oh, I don't know, what we're going to be planning exactly this year. But I was like, that gives you a little more room. So maybe there's an opportunity there to take your foot off of the fundraising gas pedal and do some other things. So don't think that you're required to fundraise. Only fundraise if you actually need the money and you have a use for the money now. So I wouldn't, like, if you have a huge, let's say a playground project that you've been saving up for, I would argue that maybe this year is not the one to go full blown into it. Maybe take your foot slightly off the gas pedal and ratchet your plans down a little bit so that you can be in line with what is the economic reality for so many families. And let me just look at my notes to see everything. Yeah, so I guess I just really want to harp on that last point. Like, if you don't have a good reason for having fundraisers, don't. It's going to turn parents off. It will lower participation rates, and it'll really hurt down the line. Like, at first you might not think it's such a big deal, but it really will. And it also reinforces those negative stereotypes about PTAs and PTOs that all we do are have bake sale fundraisers, right? So we don't really want to be like that. So that is about it for now. And I think I saw a question about a trunk or treat or a trick or treat. I didn't fully see the question. So I will answer that with a text response. But if you have any other questions about this topic, go ahead and let me know in the comments, and I will circle back around and answer them for you. So I hope this has been really helpful and that it kind of gets your mind a little straight about the whole fundraising process. And I almost forgot to mention, this would have been really bad because I always like to give you like the next step, right? So the next step, if you really want to get more strategic or learn about more strategies really for fundraising, then I want you to check out the fundraising formula. I have it linked in the video description, so you can check it out. But basically, it is a guide that walks you through how to do fundraising for your PTO without losing your mind. I'm a former fundraising chair, done it a couple different times, a couple different schools, had different events. So really, I lay out the whole process of what you need to be doing in a 6-month timeline. And you might think like, Christina, that is crazy. 6 months to plan a fundraiser? Heck yeah, if you want to earn a lot of money, that is what it's going to take, my friends. So you can slap something together and hope for the best and maybe get a couple $100 or maybe $1,000 or two. But if you really want to do a bang up job, then you need to plan strategically and plan further out in advance. So one more time, now I'm for real going to leave you, and I will hop into the comments and answer any questions that are there. So I look forward to talking to you again, and thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.